The champagne glass froze halfway to my lips as I heard my maid of honor's voice from the hotel bathroom. "Trust me, we'll make sure she never walks down that aisle tomorrow, not with her dignity intact." My vision narrowed to a pinpoint, the elegant rehearsal dinner around me suddenly miles away, though I sat at its center. "But what if Ryan figures it out?" whispered Vanessa, my bridesmaid since childhood. "Men are clueless," Pamela replied, her voice dripping with the same warmth she'd used hours earlier while adjusting my veil. "Besides, I've been working on him for months, every coffee run, every wedding errand, reminding him what he's missing since we dated sophomore year." The silver dessert fork bent between my fingers as the blood roared in my ears. The bathroom door remained slightly ajar, neither of them realizing I stood just outside, having excused myself from the table moments before. "The wine on the dress during photos is genius," continued Isabel, my college roommate. "No time to fix it, maximum embarrassment." "And I've got the rings situation handled," Pamela added. "The real ones will mysteriously vanish. She'll have to use the fakes, and I'll make sure everyone knows they're cheap knockoffs. Plant the seed that Ryan doesn't think she's worth the real thing." "You're evil," Vanessa giggled. "But she doesn't deserve him. Little Miss Perfect with her charity work and that innocent smile. Ryan needs someone with edge." "My name is Olivia. I'm 29 and an event planner. This is the story of how I orchestrated the perfect wedding, just not the one my bridesmaids expected. I'd spent 18 months planning every detail of tomorrow's ceremony, the cascading flowers, the string quartet, the handwritten vows. But in 15 seconds, my 5 closest friends had shattered something no seating chart could repair. They didn't notice me backing away from the bathroom door, didn't see me slip my phone from my clutch and press record as I re-entered, asking innocently about lipstick options for tomorrow. Their faces, so genuine, so concerned about the perfect shade to complement my dress, betrayed nothing of their conspiracy. For 20 more minutes, I recorded them planning my humiliation. Wine stains, missing rings, a toast filled with embarrassing stories about Ryan's wild past, the wrong song for our first dance, Before He Cheats, instead of our chosen ballad, a loud prenup discussion during the cake cutting, every moment of joy systematically targeted. "Remember," Pamela instructed as they gathered their purses, "death by 1,000 cuts. By the time the reception ends, she'll be humiliated. He'll remember why he wanted me, and this marriage will be over before it starts." "What if it doesn't work?" asked Gwen, the quietest of the group. "Then I keep going. Best friend privileges. I'll be around for every fight, every rough patch. The cool girl who gets him. She'll never see it coming." I maintained my smile through their hugs goodnight, kissed their cheeks, thanked them for being such wonderful friends. Then I returned to my hotel suite alone, kicked off my heels, and began typing. At 6 a.m., my wedding coordinator, Layla, arrived with 2 coffees and a concerned expression. I texted her late last night asking for an urgent meeting first thing in the morning. "Listen to this," I said, playing the recordings. Her face transformed from confusion to disbelief to cold fury. "Those absolute—" "It's fine," I interrupted, handing her my revised timeline. "New bridesmaids, new plans, same wedding. They just won't know until it's too late." Layla studied the paper, then smiled slowly. "You're brilliant. Evil, but brilliant." They wanted to destroy my wedding. Instead, they're going to be the entertainment. We worked quickly. My cousin Haley arrived at 11 a.m. with reinforcements. My 3 cousins and Ryan's sister Tanya, who'd always wanted to be included, but I'd kept the party small for my real friends. They had dresses within an hour, courtesy of Layla's connections at a local boutique that carried the same designer. Meanwhile, I played the perfect bride, had breakfast with my treacherous bridesmaids, smiled through their fake concern about my under-eye circles, even teared up when Pamela hugged me and whispered, "I'm so happy for you." "Ladies," I announced at lunch, "I've arranged a special spa treatment just for you, my gift." They exchanged quick glances but couldn't refuse without looking suspicious. Layla's assistant whisked them away to a spa 30 minutes outside town, a 4-hour package with champagne. Lots of champagne. "They'll be too relaxed to rush back," Layla promised, her eyes gleaming with professional satisfaction. While they were gone, I met with the DJ, the photographer, and key family members. Played the recordings. My normally composed future mother-in-law clasped her pearl necklace so tightly I thought it might snap. That conniving little... She caught herself. Daniel dated that trash briefly in college. She made several calls. By 2 p.m., Pamela's parents were mysteriously delayed in traffic. Her plus one had food poisoning. Every ally she'd counted on was neutralized. At 3 p.m., my phone buzzed with frantic texts. "Where are you? The spa is so far." "Enjoy, take your time. Layla has everything handled." At 4 p.m., as guests arrived, Haley and my new bridesmaids stood ready in their elegant sage dresses. The photographers knew to expect different faces. The groomsmen were informed of the changes. Ryan knew something was happening, but trusted me completely. "Whatever you need," he'd said that morning when I'd asked him to stay flexible. "Your day, your way." At 4:30, Pamela called, panic in her voice. "We're still 40 minutes away. The ceremony starts at 5 o'clock. "Oh no," I gasped, injecting concern into my voice. "Well, hurry, but drive safe." At 4:45, I stepped into my dress, pristine white, no wine stains, no torn train. My real bridesmaids surrounded me like a protective formation. Haley adjusting my veil, Tanya holding my bouquet with a fierce pride that made me wish I'd asked her months ago. At 4:55, Layla knocked. They just screeched into the parking lot, running through the lobby in spa robes. "Perfect, send them to the Magnolia Suite." I smiled. "The bridal party is in the Rose Room." "I know," Layla's eyes danced. "The Magnolia Suite has been set up specially for them." 5 p.m. The music began. My new bridesmaids walked down the aisle in perfect formation. The guests murmured, confused but not alarmed. Ryan's eyes found mine through the doorway, and his smile confirmed everything I needed to know. In the Magnolia Suite, my former bridesmaids found their dresses, but not the designer gowns I'd purchased. Instead, 5 identical polyester monstrosities in the most hideous shade of mustard yellow, with puffy sleeves and hoop skirts. A note in my handwriting. Dot. Thought you might prefer something with more edge. O. Their phones started buzzing with messages. The ceremony was starting without them. Later, I learned they tried to run to the ceremony in their spa robes. Security stopped them. Hotel policy. No robes in the event spaces. They had 2 choices: miss everything or wear the dresses. As I walked down the aisle to my beaming groom, I heard the commotion at the back. 5 women in matching mustard nightmares tried to slip in quietly. The photographer, pre-warned, captured every mortified expression. The ceremony was perfect. Haley handled the rings, the real ones. My train remained intact. No wine appeared near my dress. When it came time for the maid of honor speech, Haley stood gracefully. "Some of you might be wondering about the change in the bridal party," she began. "Let's just say the original party had other commitments, but I'm honored to stand here with Olivia's true friends, the ones who've shown up for her, not just today, but always." From table 17, the one nearest the kitchen doors, Pamela's glare could have melted steel, but the real revenge came during my toast. "Before we continue celebrating," I said, taking the microphone, "I want to share something important. Last night, I learned a valuable lesson about friendship." I pulled out my phone. "Sometimes the people you trust most are planning your downfall, but instead of letting it ruin our day, Ryan and I decided to turn it into a teaching moment. DJ, could you play track 12? The speakers came alive with Pamela's voice. "She doesn't deserve him. I've been working on him for months. Little Miss Perfect, ... The room gasped. Ryan's jaw dropped. He genuinely hadn't known the extent of Pamela's intentions. "But here's the thing," I continued over the recording. "Real friends don't tear you down. They build you up. So thank you to Haley, Tanya, Brooke, Josephine, and Madison for stepping up today." I raised my champagne toward table 17, and to those who stepped down, "Enjoy the chicken. I heard the steak ran out." The room erupted in applause, laughter, and shocked whispers. At table 17, my former bridesmaids sat frozen, faces matching their mustard dresses. Pamela stood abruptly, grabbed her purse, and tried to storm out. The DJ, following my instructions, started playing Before He Cheats, the song they'd planned to humiliate me with. "Oh, Pamela," I called out, "this was your request, right?" For the dramatic exit? She fled. The others followed one by one until table 17 sat empty, except for the mustard yellow napkins I'd specially ordered to match their dresses. Ryan pulled me close during our first dance to our actual song. "How long have you known?" 12 hours. "And you just replaced them? Like upgrading from cubic zirconia to diamonds?" He laughed, spinning me. "Remind me never to cross you. Just don't hire my friends to seduce you and we'll be fine." The rest of the reception was magical. No manufactured drama, no sabotage, just joy and laughter. Haley gave a real maid of honor speech that made everyone cry happy tears. My mother-in-law cornered me to say she'd never been prouder. Even the vendors were buzzing. Layla later told me 3 brides called her the next week requesting the Olivia special for dealing with toxic wedding parties. Around midnight, as Ryan and I swayed to the last song, my phone buzzed with notifications. The ex-bridesmaids had been busy on social media trying to spin the story, but they'd forgotten one thing. Over 200 guests had phones too. The videos were already viral. Bride exposes bridesmaid's plot during wedding. Mustard yellow karma, best wedding revenge ever. Someone had perfectly captured Pamela's face when her own words echoed through the speakers. Another caught all 5 of them shuffling in wearing those hideous dresses. "Any regrets?" Ryan asked as we gathered our gifts. I thought about it. 5 friendships gone, but were they ever real? "Just one," I admitted. His face grew concerned. "I should have ordered them uglier shoes." He laughed so hard he nearly dropped the card box. "I love you even though I'm not edgy, even though I probably schedule our sex life." His eyes darkened. "First, you're the perfect amount of edge. Second, the only thing on our schedule tonight is making sure you can't walk tomorrow." "Ryan," I laughed, blushing. "What? It's our wedding night, and thanks to you, I'm not being seduced by your backstabbing friend. I'm feeling very grateful. Very, very grateful." We've been married 2 years now. Pamela moved to Seattle after the videos went viral in our social circle. Vanessa apologized 6 months later. Apparently, Pamela had manipulated her with lies about me. I accepted the apology, but not the friendship. The videos had been shared thousands of times across social platforms, with many wedding groups using them as cautionary tales about choosing bridesmaids. The others faded away, embarrassed into silence. Well, except Isabel, who tried to start a podcast about toxic bride culture that failed after 3 episodes when someone kept commenting with clips from my wedding. Sometimes Ryan jokes about it. "Remember when your bridesmaids tried to steal me?" Technically, only one was trying to steal you, the others were just accomplices. Still the best plot twist ever, like a heist movie, but with worse fashion. The mustard dresses became legend. Layla framed one in her office with a plaque. "Always listen through hotel walls." Brides literally request the sabotage package, now a pre-wedding security sweep for toxic friends. But the best part? Haley and I are closer than ever. My real bridesmaids, the ones who showed up with 1 hour's notice, became my actual best friends. We have monthly dinners where we toast with champagne and laugh about the mustard yellow incident. Last week, Haley called with news. "You'll never guess who I ran into. Pamela, at a wedding, as a guest. Guess what color her dress was?" "No." "Mustard, yellow. The bride specifically requested all guests avoid that color in the invitation. Pamela claims she forgot. No, she wore it on purpose. Has to own it now, I guess. Make it her thing, like she chose it." We laughed until we cried because that's what real friends do. They laugh with you, not at you. They build you up, not tear you down. They stand beside you in whatever dress you give them, even if it's last minute and off the rack. And they definitely don't try to seduce your husband while spilling wine on your dress. The wedding video sits in our drawer unwatched. We don't need to relive it. But sometimes when we're at other weddings and I see bridesmaids whispering, I lean into Ryan and whisper, "Think they're plotting? Better check their group chat for mustard dress orders." He whispers back, "Period." "I'll grab the security footage." And we smile, knowing that the best revenge isn't ruining someone's day. It's living your best life while they're stuck in mustard yellow polyester trying to convince the world they chose it. Because I didn't rewrite my wedding day to hurt them. I rewrote it to save it. They just happened to be the comic relief in a love story they tried to end. Plot twist. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you might enjoy audiobooks. They're great for busy people who want to absorb new ideas on the go.